Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Good morning. Joel Krausar here again. Day 5 of my guest host stint of Hy-Vee Today. It's Friday morning, the Friday before Memorial Day, May 25th. Good news, everyone. I've done so well this week. They've asked Tony Tone to stay home for another month, and I'm going to be your host. I'm just kidding. No, he'll be back on Monday. Don't turn it off. Don't turn it off, please. No, Tony will be back Monday, and all is well with him, and we're looking forward to getting back to normal. I think all of us are. It's been a fun stint here at Hy-Vee Today. Today, busy show. Tyler Olson's going to be our first guest from Muscatine High School. He's a senior track and field and cross-country athlete. Graduates on Sunday, which I know he's excited for, and we'll talk to him in just a minute. But before we teased it yesterday, today is the day. It is the Big Burger Face-Off between Chef Tess and myself. I've got my shield right there with my big pot. I'm ready to go. I'm predicting victory. I'm just going to talk. My strategy is to talk as much trash as possible to try to get in your head, because I know your skills are so much better than mine. So I'm going with the gamesmanship approach instead of an actual talent.
That's okay. That's okay.
But we do need to reveal this secret ingredient here, which we're bringing it around, which we haven't seen these. Toyota Muscatine, TJ Deere, and Jimmy Greenhaw, who sponsor our card cam, actually selected our secret ingredient. So this just came. They just opened the envelope, and we'll let Tyler go ahead and read what the secret ingredients are here.
Avocado and mushrooms.
Okay, so we have to incorporate avocado and mushrooms into our burger this morning. So that is what we have to do. So we'll come back to those ingredients here shortly. The cart cam, I think, is going to go pick up what we're using for our burgers. But that lets us get a chance. Tyler, thanks for announcing that for us. We appreciate it. But let's get into your senior year. I know we've had a chance to talk in my previous career as a sports writer for the Voice of Muscatine. You know, how do I put this? Your career has been outstanding. You happen to have one of your best friends, another close friend who's another great athlete in your class, kind of overshadowed some of the track and field stuff. And I know that you and Joe Wieskamp are very close friends, and both of you will be competing at the Division I level and the Big Ten level at the University of Iowa next year. But I know in talking with you in the fall, you talked about some of your goals, and one of those goals was success at the Drake Relays, and you achieved that goal. What was that like to win the 800 meters at the Drake Relays?
It was amazing. It was definitely a dream come true. Ever since I found out what the Drake Relays are, I knew that it was really a big, important event that kind of was really prestigious, and everybody really sought after that white flag, and I'm really glad I was able to take it home.
Well, and you think about the Drake Relays, that's such a unique event, because it's not just the best high school athletes in Iowa, and you're not running against 4A runners only. You're running against all the classes, which there are extremely fast kids in every class in the state of Iowa. But you get to be there, and you get to see these collegiate athletes who are there training, warming up for the days after you guys run. And there's even Olympic level athletes there as well. So that's just an amazing event. Yeah,
it's really cool seeing all the professional athletes, just like if you work really hard, you can get to at one point. All the collegiate athletes. So then Iowa was there, so I got to see my coaches, and they were able to watch me race, and it was just a really cool experience.
And then it was a kind of a tough year to get going.
1990, Jonathan Esterbrook. Yeah, early 90s.
Season. So, but now that's towards the end, it was right where you wanted it to be. And then we got into the state track meet last week, which what events did you run at the state track meet?
The Open 400, the 4x4, and then the Open 8.
And then the 400, how did that end up for you?
It was good. I got a PR, 50.35. I was 12th overall in 4A, so I was pretty happy with how I did.
And your top race is obviously the 800 meters, and that was kind of a heartbreaker, is a term we use in sports writing, but it was a photo finish. You don't see that very often at the high school race, and you came up just by a nose, just short.
Yeah, it was disappointing. Looking back, like I'm really happy with my time and everything. It's a really competitive time. Last year, I know that would have won the race.
Regardless what that means, to kind of put yourself in kind of a
seconds, so can't be disappointed with that. right after the race, I was really upset, and I knew like I was just going to be thinking about all the things I could have done differently, because .016 was the official difference, and that's not a whole lot of time.
No, I mean it's a fraction of a second, and it was a young man from Johnston, right, who edged you out. And have you guys run against each other a lot throughout your high school career?
No, he actually told me he did not do track last year. He's a big swimmer.
Okay.
He won the 100 breaststroke at state this year, and he's going to Truman State to swim.
Okay.
I don't think he was in the Drake Relays race. I think he was in other events.
And that's just an example of sports, how you can sometimes one person gets hot on one particular day, and there's nothing taken away from your accomplishments. You earned that goal of winning the Drake Relays. Now we transition into that next phase of Tyler Olson's career, which is at the University of Iowa, running track. What was it about Iowa? I know your dad played basketball at the University of Iowa. What was it about Iowa that when the coaches talked to you, it was the right fit for you?
I've always been an Iowa fan since pretty much the day I was born. I was born in Iowa City. Both my parents went there. My aunt went there. My grandparents went there. It's just kind of family school, I guess. I've always dreamed of being in the black and gold, and when I knew the coaches were kind of looking at me and they wanted to come to my house for a visit and talk about things, I was just really excited. And as soon as they asked me to be part of the team, I immediately said yes.
It's a no-brainer at that point. With that said, what events are they looking at you doing at the college level?
Mostly the 800. I think there's possibility of me running a 1500 or a 400 at some point, but mostly the 800.
So 800, that's when I think about track and field. I think back to some of my collegiate friends who were track athletes. They would always joke. One of my really good friends is a 200-meter runner. One is a hammer thrower, and then the other one was an 800-meter runner. And they always said that the hardest job was the 800-meter runner, because you're sprinting, but you have to sprint with endurance too. So what was it about that distance, those middle distance races, that drew you to them?
I think I just had the right combination of speed and endurance. I've for a while in my life, I was just a cross-country runner that ran the 2 mile and the 1 mile at track meets, and so I had the endurance there. And then as I started to grow and get stronger, I started to develop my speed, and then just kind of was the perfect balance for the 800.
And working with your high school coaches in cross country and track, and there's a lot of crossover between those coaching staffs. What are some things that from your freshman year to Drake Relays champion, what are some things that you really had to do and develop in that span of your high school career?
The biggest thing was just like showing up and then going to lifting, because lifting was a huge part of it. I was able to do it as a class every day in school, and I think that was the biggest thing that helped me improve. The workouts is just like natural development of as soon as you're able to do one workout really well, you can move up and keep going to harder workouts, and that's just kind of natural progression. But the biggest thing was lifting.
And a lot of times, we see young athletes in the sports page. We know what events they run, they race, whatever sport they're in. But we don't always learn a lot about what they're like as a kid. Do you know what you're going to major in yet at Iowa?
Engineering.
I
haven't decided which field yet, but I've kind of settled on that from learning about engineering throughout my life. Right now I'm doing an internship at Reynolds Engineering, and I've been doing that all year, and that's kind of giving me a good taste of what it's going to be like.
And then, I know you just went on the Six Flags trip this past weekend. It's kind of the senior trip that the school puts together. Are you a roller coaster guy or spin ride guy? What's the go-to
definitely
ride?
Roller coasters. I like the big drops and then like corkscrews and loops, so that was pretty fun. Going out there like in the middle of the night.
What was the best ride that you went on?
Best ride was probably the Batman ride that they had, because we had just gotten off of one that was like an hour wait, and so this one was like 10 minutes, so we didn't have to wait very long, and then it was still really enjoyable, and we didn't expect it to be that way because of the short wait.
Now, some of your teammates, we were talking a little bit before we went on. Muscatine County's own Tanner Iskey was the state 100-meter champion, and I think won that at the Drake Relays as well, or maybe finished second. No, he won the Drake Relays. Yep. Another guy, you met him on your official visit. Is that is there going to be some pride, having Muscatine County representing in the Big Ten next year? Yeah,
it's going to be cool. As you said, I met him on my official visit. I really liked him. He was a really nice kid. I was really excited for him because I know he works really hard, and I really think he deserved the chance to compete at Iowa.
Now you've got graduation on Sunday. Your family's from Muscatine. You're the next generation of Olson to graduate from Muscatine High School. What has it meant to be a part of this community that your family is so well steeped in and moving out?
It's meant a lot. There's been a lot of support. Everywhere I go, it seems like somebody's congratulating me and telling me how great of a season I had, and it's amazing feeling kind of having that support of the community. My dad had a big high school career at playing basketball.
Yeah, I chuckle because, covering you and Joe as a sports writer, I remember as a kid going to see both of your dads play high school basketball growing up here in Muscatine.
It's really cool because even though I didn't play basketball, it's just cool that Joe and I have both been able to kind of compete well at the high school level. And then,
well, you've been friends for a long time, too.
We've known each other for a lot of our lives just because our dads have always been good friends. And
do you guys ever bounce, competitive ideas off each other? Do you talk about not your sport but just preparation, competition? Is it nice to have another Division I athlete to kind of bounce ideas off of?
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see kind of the experiences Joe's had with like how people kind of think about what he should be doing all the time, and like because he has more pressure on him than I do just because basketball's a bigger deal and bigger sport, but it's kind of interesting to see. Like, it's kind of nice for him to take some of the pressure off, I guess. I kind of feel bad for him. But.
Well, and I've said that to people. When you won Drake Relays, I had somebody ask me about you, and I said, honestly, if that storyline wasn't in the basketball season with Joe, this town would be talking about Tyler Olson, because of your accomplishments. It's not new. It wasn't just this year that you were succeeding. It wasn't your first year to run at the Drake Relays. It wasn't your first year to run at the state track meet. Accomplished cross-country career as well, too. We don't talk about that enough. And you're not going to run cross-country at Iowa, though. You're just going to focus on track.
They kind of split it off at the 800, so anything more, people run cross-country, but I'll just be focused on the 800.
What's the last summer for Tyler Olson, before college, going to be like?
I think my family might be planning a last vacation before I'm kind of busy all the time, and then just a lot of training. I think in the next couple of weeks I'll start training for the college season, and then as I move into like August, I'll move up to Iowa City and get started.
Well, I'll say this because I've had a chance to talk to you and interview you multiple times, and I also live just down the street. You're a well-mannered kid. You take care of your work, and you even do the little things like my kids are out playing in the front yard. You wave to them as you're driving by. Just little things like that mean a lot to the next generation of Muskie. And a big thank you to you for what you've accomplished. There's a great picture there. Some of your cross-country teammates that looks like that's from last year. But there's a lot that you guys do that's more than just the athletics, and I think running is sometimes focused as an individual sport, but there's a lot of team relationships that build in that sport as well. Lots of training time that goes in together.
Definitely.
Who are some of the coaches who kind of have helped you get to where you've been today?
Definitely the most important is Coach Foxon. He's been a huge part of my success. I've been training with the high school cross-country team in the summer since after my 5th grade school year. So then I trained with them during the summer till high school, and then continued that. He's been an amazing coach, kind of getting me prepared for every aspect of the high school. Coach Hawkins, the strength and conditioning coach, he's been a huge part of helping me kind of develop that strength and get me to this point.
Well, Tyler, I know you've got a senior pancake breakfast to get to, so we appreciate you taking some time out before that gets all started this morning. And just again, congratulations on all your success, and looking forward to watching you run next year for the Hawkeyes.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming in.
No problem.
Tyler Olson, your Drake Relays 800-meter champion and state 800-meter runner-up at the 4A state track meet this past weekend. Also, should give a shout out to one of the female track teammates, Maddie Beek, who got second place in the high jump last weekend, which is one of the top finishes in that event in school history. So lots of great things going on in our track and Olympic sports at the Muscatine High School. So Tyler, thanks so much for coming out. That's going to bring us over to our burger battle that we've got going on today. I think that the CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam, we'll go to that here real quick. And before we get to the cart cam, it's going to go pick the ingredients up. And then I know Josh from the Aberrant Body Shop over at Toyota of Muscatine is going to be stopping in as well and judging our burger cook-off. You can see the CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam. We've got some of those great fruit displays, great for your Memorial Day barbecue. You can get your, looks like that's a lunch meat, a meat and cheese tray you can grab as well. The watermelon already taken care of. They got a fruit salad right there at the bunker over there. It's actually just right around the corner from us here at Hy-Vee today, the CBI Bank and Trust live aisle cam. And I think pretty soon Chef Tess and the cart cam are going to go pick some ingredients, or maybe they've already done that. I'm not sure.
I grabbed a couple preliminary ingredients. So I've got like our ground beef already, and then I got bakery fresh whole wheat buns. Hopefully that works for both of us.
Yeah, that works.
So, yeah.
It's the bun's important, but I don't think either. I think that my burger, you could be an Atkins diet person, a no carb diet person. I think my burger is going to satisfy it.
Yeah.
I'm maybe I won't even serve it with a bun. Who knows?
I'll put them back on the shelf.
I'm just kidding.
Challenge accepted.
No, I'll serve it with a bun. No problem. But we've got the Toyota Muscatine cart cam, and Josh from Toyota Muscatine and our Abra Body Shop is coming in real quick. He's going to hop up here to the desk, and we'll get him all mic'd up so we can talk a little bit about the Abra Body Shop, and then we're going to get to cooking here and get this rolling. So we'll get you mic'd up here, Josh. Just clip that right on. Nope, you're good. And there's our Toyota Muscatine cart cam right there, Chef Tess, and they're going to go get the some ingredients for it. So the Abra Body Shop, let's talk about it, because I think it's maybe it's not a secret anymore in the community. I think the community's really gotten on board with it. I know we've talked before. It's a full-service body shop, and it's one of the best in the region.
Yeah, we enjoy it there. We've been fortunate enough to see
he wanted shiitake mushrooms.
growth in business, so that's a good thing.
And one of the things we've talked about in the past is it's the communication side. You guys really, you want to know that person. The person wants to know their car's in good hands, and you do a nice job of taking them through that process.
Absolutely. We've got a program that actually sends out text messages as your car is going through. Plus, usually daily, I will send out an email with photos so you can actually see what's going on with your car that day.
And there's some, maybe you backed into a light pole or something as you were backing out, or you had a small fender bender that you thought there was no issue. That actually might not be the case. You may actually have some damage that's underneath the cosmetic damage that you don't see that could be a real issue for your vehicle.
Absolutely. Now with blind spot monitoring systems, it's really common actually, and those are the systems that it won't show you a yellow light that's going to pop on your dash. It just isn't going to work next time. So, I mean, as far as safety goes, these new vehicles are all tailor-made for you to not screw up while you're driving. So it's very important to have that done, especially like even on the glass side. When you replace a glass, your vehicle needs to be recalibrated now. So let's, for instance, I had a guy in last week with a brand new Camry. He hit something in the rear. It was his wife's vehicle, and he's like, he wanted to do it for cash. And we found out after the fact that underneath the bumper, it had messed up his blind spot monitoring. And so...
And that's not an inexpensive repair, I would imagine.
No.
Anytime you're dealing with motherboards and technology, it's never an inexpensive fix.
No. But we got him back to normal. So recalibration's not really that ridiculously hard, but you got to take it to a master tech. And fortunately, our service department's right next door, so...
So you've got those right there, and they're ready to go with those vehicles for the Toyota Muscatine and the Abra Body Shop. And you get the extra designation today if you get to judge our burger cook-off.
I'm delighted about this.
Which I would imagine so. So now, what is if you're cooking burgers or you're grilling out, maybe this Memorial Day weekend you're having a barbecue, what's your go-to meat cookery?
I gotta be real honest with you. My wife and I shop at Hy-Vee here a lot, and I love the chicken grillers. I love the Bravo burger. Are you guys still doing the Bravo burger? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I need to check it out.
I used to like the Tony Tone burger. I mean, I like the gourmet burgers they do here, actually, and even the kebabs. We don't mess around. Like, I'm not the guy that comes home and he's going to marinate something overnight. I just would rather pick it up here and be done with it.
Get it all pre-prepped for you.
Absolutely.
And that's absolutely, those are great time savers. And like you mentioned, you have time that you and your wife can actually talk and do stuff instead of
Yeah.
slaving all day
Yeah.
in the kitchen, which is good for everything.
Typically over a beer.
Yeah. I said this when Mike Church was on the show on Tuesday. I used to work with a guy.
Thank you.
We were talking about grilling, and I said, how long did it take you to make that? And he goes, same time for everything, 3 beers. It's 3 beers to cook anything on the grill.
Thanks.
And he just said, if it's a short cook time, I just drink the 3 beers faster. And if it's a long cook time, I drink the
Right,
3
and then the
beers
less
He's got
for
his
a long
timing
period
down.
of time. Yeah, 3 beers.
Actually,
So
you can
I-
come with me for that one.
He just needs a meat thermometer. That way he can adjust his speed, I guess.
Yeah.
But so that you're gonna judge our burger battle here, and Tess is actually out with the Toyota Muscatine cart cam, and your colleagues over there just across the way over at corner of Highway 38 and Highway 61 picked our secret ingredients today. And so mushrooms and avocado are the
Hey,
two
man.
things that we have to incorporate
That sounds
into
fantastic.
our burger. And so we're gonna figure out a way. The avocado's throwing me a little bit. I've used it before, but what I had in my game plan in my mind was not that direction. So I'm gonna have to shift it a little bit. But that's
I've eaten it at Subway before. I liked it there. I'm sure on a burger you can't hardly go wrong.
no, yeah, it's great.
well,
You can use it a lot of different ways. So we're looking forward to that. And as soon as they get back, we're gonna get to cooking. With the Abra Body Shop, if someone maybe it's not just Toyotas. You guys work on all kinds of vehicles.
Absolutely. All makes and models. Actually, I'm also the fixed operations director for Toyota Muscatine, so I deal with the service side as well. And we are actually currently looking for technicians. If anybody, wants a great opportunity to come in and learn or just work at a nice dealership, you're more than welcome to come see Cindy Husar, our service manager, and apply.
So what is it about this industry that kind of got you involved in? Have you always been kind of around cars and into cars? And
My dad started me young. I was big into cars, and I'm actually a huge Mustang nut. So people find it weird that I'm a Ford guy working at the Toyota dealership. But honestly, great opportunity, great people to work for, and my wife and I have loved
TW.
Muscatine since we've got here.
Everyone's
So
gonna be on the show.
I have a very good friend from high school. He lives in Arizona, and he just about a year ago finished rebuilding
Just for
a
the show?
'67
Like, by
Shelby
next week?
Mustang.
Really?
And
Okay,
he
I'll
took
take
him
that
like
then.
5 years. This is his business. He went to Tech and
Oh, very cool.
did the custom car
How many
design
varieties about?
program in college. But he didn't
Okay.
spare any expense, and he didn't cut any corners. That's why it took him so long to get it done. So it's just. Every person kind of has that one car. I know I have a client right now who's a big English sports car guy, but he also has a bent for the Mopar. Like he has the original Dodge Challenger. I think it's like a '68 or a '71 Dodge Challenger. And
I'm not. I'm kind of overly partial to Mustangs, but I've done lots of old cars. We don't typically do that at Abra, but in my past experience of close to 20 years, I've done lots of old cars. But I'm a Mustang nut. I have an 07 GT 500
Nice.
Shelby myself, so I can testify with your buddy. It's just a neat car to have. And
well, and you talked about some of the technology in the newer cars. It seems like Toyota has really been at the forefront of some of those safety technologies,
yeah.
and that has made your job probably really interesting because you've gotten to evolve as cars have evolved.
it has totally changed. You can't. I was just talking. Chef Tess just had her windshield done. And basically, I was telling her, I'm like, we had to have it recalibrated and everything else. It's a big deal now with all the safety stuff, all the different sensors, and radar, cruise control, and things of that nature. My wife actually, we just bought a Camry, an 18 Camry from Jimmy out at the store there, and he was showing her all the stuff that it does, and he's like, oh, radar, cruise will do this, and she was like freaked out by it. She's like, oh my God. So you come up on a car and it's doing a certain pace. Let's say you got your cruise set at 70 and this guy's doing 65. It will pace you with the car in front of you without you touching anything.
It's amazing. I feel like we're on the verge of Terminator a little bit with some of this stuff, but no, I hope we don't get to that self-driving car stage, but at the same time, it's heading that way.
Yeah, I'm right with you though. I'm a purist. I like to shift. I like to drive. I like to be in control. I enjoy it. I think that's the thing anymore that's getting lost is the drivability, the fun of driving.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that why your job is so important because people fall in love with their cars, and if something happens to them, they don't want to just turn it in and get a new one or salvage it.
No.
They want to get it fixed, and they want to go to a place like Abra Body Shop to really get it back to where it was or as close to it as possible.
Absolutely. That's what our thing is. You got to get it back to pre-accident condition. I can't tell you how many people come in and have names for their cars, either in the service department or the body shop. It's actually pretty hilarious.
But we've got Josh from Aber Body Shop in Toyota Muscatine. I'm going to hop over. I think I need to start cooking here. But we're going to see. We'll talk to you back and forth here as we get these burgers cooked. And you're going to get to judge, which I know you were really sad about when they asked you to do that. So I'm going to go get my lavalier mic on so I can talk to you while I'm over here.
Cool.
It's on. Here we go. This is the Krausar special right here.
So about how long of a window are we thinking that we have?
Well, I think that we probably, I don't know, how long does it take a burger? 25 minutes?
Oh, I think we could probably 15.
15?
Yeah,
Challenge accepted.
15.
That's right, my apron says too hot to handle.
Oh my gosh.
We are ready to go. Too hot, the Krausar special here. I can't take credit for this. This is my father's apron. But it is all good. You have a knife?
Yeah.
So we have to use avocado and mushroom, chef.
That's trust right there.
Yes, I trust you.
Okay.
I'm good. I've got some knife skills.
All right.
So, I have no idea what I'm going to do with the avocado yet. Okay. She's like, I do. I'm good. I'm locked and loaded.
I just grabbed one.
As long as you peel it, yeah. Just going to serve it just straight up. Alrighty. I got to slice up some red onion here. So, can you give me any hints as to where you're going with this? I see you got some red cabbage going over there.
Yep. So, I kind of mentioned to you yesterday a little bit that my wife and I are trying a plant-based diet. So, what that means is we're just basically trying to make like most of our diet based around plants and legumes and not animal products. So
legumes, there's a great word.
Legumes, like beans and things like that. Peanuts.
Peanuts are actually a legume.
Yep. So we're trying to focus on getting more of those into our diet. And with that kind of shift in the way I think and cook at home, I just decided to take the whole burger thing into a more like health conscious direction. It's still going to be a burger. We're using 15 ground chuck today, so a little bit more fat in it still.
Which you kind of need when you're making a burger.
Yeah.
Make that a little bit more unctuous, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't dry out as quickly.
Right. So I'm going to do just a very lightly spiced burger, which I'm just leaving the patty kind of flattened out. My father-in-law kind of taught me not to work your ground beef too much before you cook it because it kind of starts to make it tough. So the key to a really tender burger is not to, if you're going to mix some stuff into it, just don't work it too much. So I'm just going to kind of dust the outside with some spices, and that's about it. And I'm going to sear it in these pans here, and I'm going to top it with red cabbage slaw with a fresh lime dressing and avocado and portobello mushroom.
That sounds really good. It doesn't sound like it's going to beat mine, but it sounds really good.
Oh.
So here's the secret, Ryan. You know how you beat Chef Tess? You use Chef Tess. My signature burger is stuffed with Chef Tess's pub cheese spread that she makes here at the store. And so I stuff burgers with that, and it's pretty much unbeatable.
We'll see. We'll see if I can beat myself.
See, now I've given you the out. Now if you do beat me, then if I do beat you, you're like, well, you just used me. I'm going to wash my hands here real quick.
Nope, you're good. There's actually a hand washing sink right there.
Ah, there it is. Didn't have to make it so hard. I'm on visitor's turf here, too. So, Josh, you're a Wisconsin guy, so more cheese the better, right? You don't care? What part of Wisconsin are you from?
Actually, Cuba City.
Okay.
It's right next to Platteville.
It's not too far up the road.
About a half hour from Dubuque. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Spotted cow territory.
Oh, yes. I was bootlegging last time I was home for my
Don't
sister's wedding. I had to
don't
bring
admit
2
that. Don't
cases
admit
back.
that on the air. Don't admit that on the air. Statute of limitations might not be up on that, buddy.
Well, they'll come for me, not for you.
Okay. I just don't want to be an accomplice. Yep, absolutely. We are cooking on the fly here
Yes,
at Hy-Vee
we are.
today. All right. So, one thing I was going to ask: do we have any like oil or butter or somewhere?
We might have to run and grab some
Okay.
oil. I was actually just looking for that, and I think I ran out last night.
Not a problem.
So
So I'm going to caramelize some onions to go on top of this burger, and then I'm going to make a horseradish, avocado, cilantro sauce kind of thing
listen to you.
to go on the burger.
Okay.
to go
All
on with
right.
it. So we'll see how that goes.
Betsy, do you think that you could grab us some olive oil off the shelf? Please. Let's see, what else? Can I borrow a little bit of your red onion?
Yeah, you can borrow as much as you want.
Is this
Yeah,
up
you
for
can have
grabs?
that, yep.
Okay. Rather than crack open a new
Yeah,
one.
no, you're good.
We don't like to waste here on Hy-Vee
No,
today.
not at all. So what I've done is I've made 2 patties here, Ryan, and what I do is I make a nice ball of the cheese spread, and I just put that right into the burger. And so you can see. So we make a nice ball of the cheese spread right in. I'm gonna put a little bit more because I want to make sure I satisfy that Wisconsin palate.
Here's a towel for you.
Thank you. And then this is the hardest part, I guess, is you have to seal the edge because you don't want it to go
Thank you
all the
so
way out. You don't want it to leak out in the cooking process. Firm, so you want to get a good seal on it.
Juicy Lucy.
Juicy
should,
Lucy.
Come with a wing
Get a little hot.
The filling, depending on what kind of cheese that you use, can get super, super hot. So if you're going to make them at home, just let them rest. You should always let
Yeah.
your meat rest anyway.
Right.
A little bit.
Even your hamburgers.
Yep.
And I'm just going to throw a little cheddar cheese on that too. I've cut through some of that. There's a lot of fat in this burger. It's double cheese, got the avocado. That's what the cilantro is going to do with the horseradish as well. So,
There you go.
let me start. Where do I get started here?
Oh, here.
Sorry,
You're all good.
so I'm just going to get these onions started. Let them get rolling.
So I am getting ready to. So my slaw is pretty much ready to go right now, and this is what it looks like. One of the nice benefits to focusing on plant-based is that your cooking time is a little bit shorter for dinner sometimes. So super all of the other prep I'm gonna do, but this beautiful colored slaw is ready to go on top of the burger. That's just a little bit of lime juice. I'm actually gonna add a touch of olive oil to it. Yellow bell pepper and cilantro, and that's what's in there. That's going to be some nice texture, and then the freshness of that lime juice in my mind is going to contrast the richness and that fatty mouthfeel of this burger a little bit. So that's kind of what we're going for there. And then I'm going to try and get my pan really, really hot before I add the burger. As you can see, it's smoking a little bit here. And what that's going to do is that's going to give me a really nice sear on my burger. Your pepper
Perfect.
there. And I have a container of salt here if you need it.
like a wood stove
Yeah.
or something like that. Who would need that? I love cooking with these gas stoves.
Yeah, this stove sounds like, if you get all the burners on, like high, it sounds like an airplane's about ready to take off. I love this thing.
So what I'm doing is I'm just getting a quick cook on these onions. I don't want to cook them all the way down. I'm not going to go full caramelized because I actually want to have some texture still in the onion. Where do you sit on putting potato chips on burgers?
What's that?
Where do you sit on putting potato chips on burgers?
I was actually just having a conversation with somebody yesterday about this. It's super funny that you're asking me this. I do believe that potato chips absolutely belong on a sandwich.
Do you have like a small bowl or something I can put these onions in to pull them off?
I grabbed you that one.
Okay,
That's
cool.
the smallest one I got.
Awesome, that's fine. I just wanted to use later in the day. You got to make something to eat tonight, right?
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. I totally forgot about that. I'm going to sneak right in front of you.
Yep.
Doing a rib dinner, so we're in front of the store from 4 to 7. And that is going to be a half rack of ribs that they're on the smoker right now. We're doing many batches today, so they're starting them right now. They're going to go for probably 3-4 hours out on our Applewood fired smoker in the parking lot. So they're the real deal. Half rack of ribs, baked beans, and potato salad. Get you out the door $10 tonight from 4 to 7.
Wow.
So $10, half rack of ribs, baby backs. They're absolutely delicious. So I'll be up front selling those from 4 to 7 tonight. Going to be scrumptious.
Yeah, that Applewood is really what you have to do with ribs too. You get that little bit of
I like Applewood because it's not so aggressive. Yeah, a lot of people smoke hickory. It just kind of depends on where you're just. Hickory is very aggressive
I
smoke.
think hickory is the universe. Smoke these.
Yeah.
Everyone has smoked them.
Yeah.
I use hickory a lot when I'm doing beef to take that stronger flavor.
Yep.
I mean,
But I don't know that I would use hickory for ribs.
I'm with the cherry wood too. If I can get it, I'll use cherry, loosen it up.
We have a really great cherry wood smoked ham in the deli. It's a lunch meat, like a shaved lunch meat, deli meat, and it is amazing.
You know, I think a part of me, we made a list of ingredients for your coworkers to pick. I think we had 10 things, and Chef put sweet cherries on there as one of the options. A part of me was really hoping that was something that they were gonna pick. But have you used cherries before?
No. I threw in a couple different things that would also be a challenge for me as well, to be fair. But I probably wouldn't do the cabbage slaw with it, but I was thinking that if we did get cherries, we would probably get sauce out of them. Like out of the cherries, a little bit of like bourbon and maybe some orange zest.
Kind of like a glaze.
Yeah, kind of.
It was like a fruit glaze. We had one of our simple fix meals last night at our house from Hy-Vee, and it was pork chops. It was like a raspberry with it. It wasn't much glaze. It was just raspberry jam, stained with vinegar. So just another example of some of the things you can do to change up your weeknight meal. You know, it's a nice quick meal that we were able to have. Stuffing mix that had green apples in it. Seared off the pork chops and then just finished it all in the oven all together, and then topped it with the glaze. The kiddos mowed it right up. I am smoking here. Not the kind of smoke I want. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Turn your heat down. Just a hair. I'm gonna add a touch more oil in there for you.
There we go. Yeah, that would be a bad thing. You got that salt over there?
Yep.
You're the one who taught me this. That you sprinkle the salt from up higher because you get more on the surface.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to control where the salt is landing on the surface of the meat if you start off back away from it a little bit more. If you season right down here, you're gonna get like big clumps of salt. You're gonna hit those. It's gonna be super salty. Not gonna taste very good. So this is a nice little trick I like to do with avocados. So I peel it, just the peel came right off. Slice it this way in nice thin strips, and then you can just apply a little bit of pressure there.
Fan it out?
Fan it out a little bit, yeah.
Very nice. Now you hooked me up with this nice, thick, creamy horseradish spread that I'm actually going to use a little bit, just a dab in here with the mushrooms as well, but then I'm going to make a sauce with the cilantro and the avocado.
Sounds awesome. I'm going to reach over here for the salt real quick.
Absolutely. Are you a horseradish guy? You like spicy stuff?
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm accidentally cooking for the judge here, but we'll see. I'll grab that spatula one more time. I'm in the weeds, as they say on this. But you have to, I like that you're doing that slaw. I think that's a really good idea to add some freshness to your burger. So
Yeah,
it's not
I mean, we're coming into the season where, you know, we're getting local produce here at Hy-Vee. People might have gardens in their backyards too. There's just, it's summertime. It's the time for fresh produce. And so when that warmer weather hits, I always just start thinking, you know, how can I incorporate more vegetables into my diet? And now, especially so with the new way that we're kind of eating at home a little bit. So it's challenging too when you're just kind of focused on being a meat eater.
I need to get some extra heat to cook that thing all the way through.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got a pretty thick burger there. So.
Yeah, whenever you stuff any sort of meat, that's a good point. Whenever you stuff any sort of meat, it's usually going to take just a little bit longer, and you might need to switch to a more indirect heat to kind of get
so I turned the heat down.
Yep.
And covered it up to let that kind of steam a little bit on itself.
Kind of make a little oven there.
I got to make my sauce here. This is a perfect avocado. One thing that my dad taught me, I learned to cook a lot from my dad. My dad was a big cook. My mom's a good cook too, but my dad was big into it. I didn't know that if you leave that avocado pit in like your guacamole or something, it'll stay green. Like that, it helps preserve that green color.
Yeah.
Man, that thing looks like you're a professional chef or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then also, I'm just going to point out that while I was just chatting with you, got a little distracted. And the bottom bun has a nice little char on it, but the top bun is just a little too far. So, little mistake, happens to everybody. So, what I like to do is I'm just going to take like a nice sharp knife. And you can do this with toast. You know, don't throw it out. If it's not that little bit of char.
Yeah, it's not beyond repair.
It's definitely not. I mean, you've got to like really, really burn something for it to be like ready for the trash can. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my knife and just kind of scrape off that char there. And what we're going to be left with is not a burnt flavor, but maybe like a nice little smoky flavor from the oil and the bread. And it's got like these little not burnt, but toasted edges here too. So we've got the mushroom on there, got the avocado on there, got a very lightly spiced ground chuck patty, the slaw. I added a little extra ingredient here. I know we mentioned these on the show before, but these are radish microgreens, which are going to be available on the shelf next week. This is another sample that the grower provided with this morning, actually, I found out about it. So this little thing, if you let it grow, would be a full radish plant. But they pick them really, really young, and they are super full of flavor. So this is going to give like a really nice spicy radish bite to the top of the burger. So they're going to have like the nice richness of the burger, the richness of the portobello mushroom, the rich fattiness of the avocado, and it's going to be contrasted by the lime, the freshness of the slaw, and then this spicy bite of the radish here. So the only animal product on this whole burger was the actual burger. And everything else created around it is all plant-based. So
Now, if you wanted to do a whole plant-based burger like what you're doing, what are some of the things you can do to substitute for the beef?
Well, a great thing, and we're kind of already on the right track here, is I would have used a bigger portobello mushroom cap and just used that as the burger on the bun. Just done that. So
very nice.
But yeah, I'm gonna take this over. Just let this rest a little bit right behind you, Joel.
That thing looks like a work of art.
Thanks.
And that's you judging us on how it looks, how it tastes. That's basically what it is. So I think she's going to beat me in presentation. I hope I beat her on flavor. All right.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Starting to separate a little bit, but we're okay. It basically just looks like a nice double cheeseburger right now. We'll get that in there. And actually, you know what? Let's throw another slice of cheddar on there. Just let it go. We'll let that steam a little bit more. And actually, we'll put those nice onions right there under the cheese. Good way to get that flavor in there. I talk about the hot dog rack a lot on the grill. When I'm melting cheese, sometimes I'll move it up to that hot dog rack so you can get almost that oven convection kind of approach.
At that point, I usually get the burgers where they need to be, and then I move them up there too, throw the cheese on them, turn the grill off, and then just shut the lid for like 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like just enough to melt that cheese without overcooking your burger. You're just full of chef hacks.
I don't know if they're chef hacks. I just think I've screwed up a lot while I'm doing it myself, so I just try to figure out a way to make it a little bit easier.
That's how you come up with chef hacks.
That's
you
true.
mess stuff up over and over and over again until you decide we should do this differently, and it becomes a chef hack.
That's true. I'm just trying to. I want to taste my sauce here. Oh, that's good. Yeah, horseradish is legit in here.
You need something smaller?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Do you want your bun toasted?
Yeah.
I promise I won't do it like I did mine.
Okay. Chef Tess is being a good sport in the sake of time, and she's gonna help toast my bun for me. Oh, there we go. Just gonna let this rest a little bit for you. It may not
Cheddar
be.
makes it better.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that the state motto of Wisconsin? Cheddar makes it better.
Cheddar is better. I turned it off. You're all good.
So, if you're just joining us, well, my burger, while it's not as pretty as the artisan piece that has been put before you from Chef Tess, it is Chef Tess's pub spread stuffed inside 2 beef patties with caramelized onions on top, and I'm actually going to top it also with these are some sautéed shiitake mushrooms, which I just used some salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic powder to season those, and then avocado was our other secret ingredient. And I've made an avocado cilantro horseradish. I'm gonna call it a mayonnaise. I know it's not technically a mayonnaise because it has no egg or any kind of other thing in it, but it's close enough.
Aioli.
It's avocado. Aioli.
Aioli.
There's the fancy Italian word for that. But and it's not too spicy, but I think it'll help cut through some of what's almost fat on fat with cheese and avocado and everything. That's
absolutely.
That horseradish.
So you kind of have more of like the pub style, full flavor kind of route.
Right, I have the defensive tackle burger, and you have the cyclist, the person who's out riding their bike burger. But my apron does say too hot to handle on it, so I feel like do I get bonus points for that? No.
There's your bun there.
Say no.
Oh man. So that's like a spicy horseradish
cilantro,
kind of guac there. You could just make me a sandwich of that.
All right.
Right there.
There's some left over. You can try it.
I might eat it out of the bowl with the spoon when the show's over. We'll see.
Right there. And then we'll put a little bit of the fresh chopped cilantro on there just to help cut through. I'm a huge cilantro fan.
I am too. If you don't like cilantro, chances are it's because of the the actual genetic makeup of your taste buds.
Oh, really?
When people say like, "Oh my gosh, I hate that. It tastes like soap," it's because to them it really does taste like soap.
That's interesting.
And they're not being picky. So
nice. So while mine's not as pretty, I put the sauce on the bottom bun to help absorb obviously some of that coming down from the burger, but also because it's got that horseradish in it, so that your taste buds hit that first. So it's already kind of cutting through.
We always play with salt, acid, sweetness, and fat, and those are balancing those is kind of how you compose any dish.
Yeah. So Josh, you're clear to eat.
I mean, I'm going to tell you,
you
right
want us
now,
to cut it in half?
I'm already salivating at the mouth. This looks amazing.
I'll get him a couple napkins.
I would say presentation-wise, I'm going to go with Tess's.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, if you didn't go with that, I'd question you.
I'm going to take a bite of this thing. That is like an explosion of flavor. I'm going to have another bite just to make sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Clearly, I've been coming to Hy-Vee at the wrong time all these years.
This is prime time for samples. The set of Hy-Vee today.
That's a clean spoon.
Thank you.
It's not overpowering.
Your slaw really sets it off.
Thank you.
Very, very good.
I might
The
start
best is
throwing-
we'll have some left over too,
Okay.
because we can sample each other's burgers. It looks like a little bit.
Clearly, Joel has tapped into my Wisconsin native here with this. Ooh. I like the idea of the stuffed burger. Absolutely. It's very good.
So I'm going to need 5 minutes to think about this while I
You're gonna need a
smash the
nap
rest of this
when you
burger.
get back to work.
Sauteed onions. I'm not really tasting the horseradish.
Okay.
Honestly, I love them both, but if I had to go by taste, this is like an explosion of different flavors. We may have gone a little too much on the cheese, and I hate to say that.
That's fine. I was overcompensating for a lack of
And here's
lack
the other
of
thing.
actual skill.
It's early in the day yet. Had I had a beer with this, maybe my decision would be different. I
That's
don't know.
fair. So Chef Tess is the winner, as I kind of figured it would be. But she beat me, and she didn't have to lose to herself because I did use the Chef Tess pub spread, which is a holiday staple. I know it might be down at like videos that are inside all the time, and it's great with crackers and, like I said, you got stuff your burger. There is going to be nothing left of Chef Tess's burger. And again, Josh, thanks so much from Aber Body Shop and Toyota Muscatine for coming. Toyota Muscatine doing so much with the cart cam and helping us out with that today. That's going to probably do it for our show today. I lose after running my mouth yesterday. I lose today, and I can willingly and enjoyably accept defeat. And just thank you guys for having me this week and letting me be the guest host as Tony was out. We had fun, and Josh is going to be the live record that he's going to now down.
Let everybody know I'm not going to be back to work. I'm going to nap after this.
So again, thank you everyone. Congratulations, and you're getting out. Big thank you to CBI Bank and Trust, who sponsors our aisle cam, and also just remember it's Memorial Day weekend off on that day. There's a reason we have the fine soldiers who sacrificed their lives so that we could grill out and have an extra day off. And big thank you to those who we need to remember on this weekend every May. And again, so that's Joel Krausar, your guest host here on Hy-Vee today. And Tony will be back Monday. And I think we'll all see you guys there. Thank you. Have a great Memorial weekend.
Thanks for watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community. Questions? Comments? Know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today via email. HyVeeToday@gmail.com.